Hello and welcome to Dunia's Alchemy. This is a GCSE Biology video on nutrition and food tests. The video breakdown is below. First, we're going to look at all the key nutrients. Secondly, the required practical setup. Third, the food tests for starch, sugars, proteins and lipids. And lastly, exam practice questions and answers. So let's begin. Let's have a look at all the different types of food nutrients and where they're found. The first one is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the main source of energy for the body. They're found in foods such as bread, pasta, rice, and potatoes. The second one is proteins. Proteins are needed for growth and repair of cells and tissues. Good sources of protein include meat, fish, eggs, beans, and nuts. Lipids, which are fats and oils, provide long-term energy, insulation, and protection for our organs. They're found in butter, oils, nuts, and dairy products. Vitamins. Vitamins help control chemical reactions and keep the body healthy. Examples include vitamin C in fruit and vegetables, and vitamin D in fish, eggs, and from sunlight. Minerals are needed for healthy cells and proper body function. Iron from red meat and spinach helps make red blood cells, and calcium from milk and cheese strengthens bones and teeth. Next one is fibre. Fibre helps move food through the digestive system and prevents constipation. It's found in whole grain foods, fruit and vegetables. Water is vital for hydration, transporting substances and controlling body temperature. It comes from drinks and water-rich foods like fruit and vegetables. So just before we start our food test, we're going to look at some key equipment we need in order to carry these out. The first one is test tubes, along with their rack. Next is a water bath. Next is your food samples. We should also be wearing safety goggles, pipettes, spotting tile so that we can observe colour changes, distilled water, and also lab coat. Always make a food solution by crushing food and mixing it with water, and this can be done using a pestle and mortar. There are 4 types of food tests that you need to be aware of. The first 2, your starch and your reducing sugar, are both examples of carbohydrates. Then we're going to be testing for proteins, and lastly our lipids. So let's begin. So how do we test for starch? Firstly, we make sure that we add a few drops of iodine solution to the food sample, and then we simply observe the colour change. So when I add my drops of iodine, if I see that it stays brown, that means there's no starch. But if I see that the brown colour turns into a blue-black colour, then that confirms that we have starch. Our next test is for reducing sugars, and we also call it the Benedict test. The first step for this is you add Benedict solution to the sample. Then you heat it in a water bath for 5 minutes. Make sure to use tongs when you are doing this. Then we're going to observe the colour change. If we see that it stays blue, because our Benedict solution is originally blue, then that means there is no reducing sugar. But if I see it going from blue to brick red, that means we do have a reducing sugar present. Now, you're probably wondering, why do I have these other colours, this green colour, this yellow colour? Whether it stops at green or goes all the way to brick red depends on the concentration or amount of reducing sugar present. So the more reducing sugar you have, you're going to see it leaning towards that brick red colour. Our next test is a test for protein, called our Biuret test. The first step is you add a few drops of Biuret solution to the food sample, and then you simply observe the colour change. So if it stays blue, because our Biuret solution is originally blue, then that means there is no protein. But if I see it go from blue to purple, that means there is a protein. So think of it as P for protein, P for purple. If we see it go purple, proteins are present. And last but not least, we're going to look at our test for lipids, also known as the ethanol test. The first point is you add ethanol to the food sample and you shake it. Then you pour it into a test tube with water. If it stays clear, that means there was no lipid present. If you see it go from clear to a cloudy white colour, then that confirms that you have a lipid present. Because I'm such an amazing teacher, I've left a whole bunch of questions for you to answer, starting from bronze, silver, and then gold. This should take you about 16 minutes, so feel free to pause the video and complete this. This video will keep running, so the answer will be revealed soon. Try to mark this in a different colour pen when you're ready, so you can see where you went wrong, if you went wrong that is. Good luck. If you got this far and you managed to answer them all, honestly, well done. Give yourself a mark out of 16, and I'll see you in the next video. That is our video complete. As you can see, all key nutrients are done. Required practical setup has been looked at. We've seen all the tests for starch, sugars, proteins and lipids, and we've had a go at some exam questions, so that's amazing. As usual, don't forget 3, 2, 1. Share it with 3 others. Give it 2 clicks, like and subscribe, and finally 1 comment. Have a great one.